What's up and welcome back to another video, guys. Now, with May only being 2 months away, I figured it was time to compile all of the different leaks and rumors that we have regarding the May 4th promo, as it is the highlight of the LEGO Star Wars year for most people. Now, we have a lot of different things to talk about regarding this leak and also the rumors regarding it, because as of right now, it is not set in stone, but we do have a lot of information that I am going to be sharing with you in this video. So without further ado, let's get right on into this video. Now, releasing on May 1st, there are going to be 3 different promos that you can get to celebrate the 4th of May. The first and the cheapest price point is going to be at $40. There's going to be a poly bag. The next one to hit is going to be $90. It's going to be some sort of charm. And then lastly, the big set to celebrate is going to be with a purchase of $160, being a set with 3 minifigures. So let's take a closer look at all 3 of these different promos. Starting off with our first gift with purchase, coming in at the price point of $40 and is rumored to have 81 pieces. This is going to be our poly bag. This is rumored to be based off of Revenge of the Sith, and it's going to be some sort of ship. Now, if I had to guess, I would think that it would be maybe an ARC 170. I think that could go alongside the playset ARC 170 that we got earlier this year, and it would kind of coincide with some of the previous poly bags that we got on May 4th relating to some of the sets that we previously got. So that would make sense to me. Another kind of rumor out there is that it's going to be some sort of Jedi Interceptor, which I also could see being very plausible. Now, I don't think it would be based on Ahsoka's, just because Ahsoka wasn't necessarily in Revenge of the Sith at all. So I would assume that it would be either Anakin's or Obi-Wan's, or maybe even some sort of both of them in the poly bag. I think could be very cool. However, coming in at 81 pieces, I don't think that's something that's possible to have 2 unless they are very, very small. However, I do think that that would be very, very cool. And another thing that I saw people talking about was that it was going to be some sort of Venator. However, I don't think that that's going to be something that LEGO is going to be able to do at the 81 pieces. And then I feel like, I feel like a Venator poly bag would kind of warrant a higher price point for that May 4th promo. So I feel like for $40, I would bet money that it would probably end up being some sort of ARC 170 or just another ship like it. But I am very excited. I think that there is a ton of possibility here. And although poly bags with builds aren't everyone's cup of tea, I do think that they turn out very well. And I'm excited to see what LEGO does for this poly bag. Now, next up, we have probably the least exciting of these 3 promos, being at the $90 price point. It is going to be some sort of charm. Now, what this means is that it is most likely going to be reminiscent of the previous coin that we got last year at that $90 price point. Now, I'm not really a big fan of these. I don't really do anything with them. They sit in my storage, and I don't even really display them. So it is kind of sad that that is going to take up one of the spots for the promo, but it could also be something else. I heard some people saying that it could be kind of like that promo that we got with the UCS Venator, being those little patches. However, that also doesn't excite me. But what could excite me was if they bring back the keychains. I know LEGO kind of steered away from giving out minifigures as their promos, but I think a keychain is kind of that best of both worlds. It kind of gives that little charm vibe that they're going for with some of these weirder promos, and then it also satisfies the minifigure aspect that the fans are looking for. And then there you could get some really cool characters that we haven't seen. Yes, it would be nicer just to get them as a minifigure, but I think a keychain could be really cool. I don't necessarily collect the keychains, but I know that LEGO has done some keychain promos in the past, so it's not something that they are strangers to. So I would be excited to see that, and I think that it's something that the fans would like as a compromise for not getting the minifigure poly bags anymore. But unfortunately, it is looking like that this is just going to be some sort of coin or a patch or just something odd like that I know the fans aren't a big fan of, but I'll try and keep an open mind until we actually see it. Nonetheless, I'm still excited, but I feel like for that $90 price point, we should be getting something just a little bit more than a measly old charm. And now for the most exciting promo coming out on May 4th is going to be set 40765, the gift with purchase with a purchase of $160 or more. That is going to have 190 pieces and 3 minifigures. Now, there's been a ton of speculation on what this could be, and there was also a leak. I'm saying that in quotation marks because the person that it comes from is one that I wouldn't consider reputable. Not to say that they are lying or incorrect. It's just, I'm not sure if I believe it. I'll have to wait until I see it, but I could be proven wrong. And that original leak, I guess we'll talk about first, being that it is going to be Jango Fett's apartment. Now, this does kind of make sense on paper. It goes alongside the UCS Jango Fett's Slave 1 that we're also going to be getting on May 1st. So I do think that that is plausible. However, we're also getting to get 3 sets related to Jango Fett in 1 year. Not to say that it's not going to happen. It just seems a little bit unlikely. unlikely because we're also getting the Playscale version of the Slave One later on in the year, and to get the apartment would be really cool. However, to get, the minifigures, the 3 minifigures that I could, think of would be Jango Fett in his little casual attire, a young Boba Fett, and then maybe a Kanemoan, or maybe an Obi-Wan, or just a second version of Jango Fett in his armor. Now, I don't think that this is something that is 100% written off in the books. However, it just wouldn't make sense to be getting 3 different versions of Jango Fett in the same year. Not to say it couldn't happen, I just feel like that's something that LEGO wouldn't do. However, it would make sense if it does tie into the UCS Slave One, but this is only the first kind of rumor tier to talk about because there's a ton of different speculation and also some other things that could be a bit more interesting than this, in my opinion. Another option that we could be getting for this May 4th promo is one that was highly demanded by fans, being an updated version of Palpatine's Arrest. It's one that many thought was going to be coming out with the anniversary for Revenge of the Sith, but is nowhere to be found this year, and that is going to be the Palpatine's Arrest diorama. Now, coming in with 3 minifigures, it is possible that this could be that. With Mace Windu, Anakin Skywalker, and Palpatine, we could get the scene, the iconic scene Revenge of the Sith, where Mace Windu is defenestrated and meets his demise, but being an iconic scene that fans really want, I feel like that could be the perfect opportunity for LEGO to give it to us in a promo, especially for the big 25th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. It just all makes sense, not the 25th, the 20th anniversary. But I feel like that is the golden option. Now, if I had to pick out of all of the things that I'm going to talk about, this is the one that I would want LEGO to make. However, I'm not sure if it's something that they will end up making. Now, I do think that it is a possibility. However, it's definitely not at the top of my list, but I do think that LEGO missed a huge opportunity not making an updated version of Palpatine's Arrest, and I feel like this is a good way for them to make up for it, because it is a set that the fans really wanted and just didn't get, and this is probably the last way that they'll be able to deliver on it this year, because all of the leaked sets have already kind of been rumored and leaked, so we already know what we're getting, and Palpatine's Arrest is nowhere to be found, so this would definitely satisfy the fans if that was to be the promo, and I'm sure that a lot of people would really like to see the scene depicted in a LEGO promo. Now, another rumor that is surfacing around is maybe a bit disappointing for a lot of people, and that is that the May 4th promo is going to be tied in for the anniversary of the sequels and not Revenge of the Sith. Now, I do think that this is not true, but I will humor it for the sake of this video, being that we're going to be getting the scene of Kylo Ren versus Rey and Finn. Now, not to say that this isn't a possibility, because we are getting sets to celebrate the anniversary of the sequels with the Kylo Ren helmets as well as the mini-scale Kylo Ren shuttle. However, I don't think LEGO is going to make the May 4th promo on the anniversary of Revenge of the Sith and tie it into the anniversary for the sequels. There would be so much backlash, and I think LEGO would get torn apart on the internet. Not to say that it isn't something that I would be interested in seeing, and maybe if this just wasn't the year that coincided with the anniversary for Revenge of the Sith, then I think that this would be a lot more possible. However, I don't see it happening. Now, it would still be a pretty cool one to get in a nice kind of diorama form, but I just don't think that's going to happen, especially because that was already a set, and I don't think that set sold particularly well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just think that it's something that not a lot of people have interest in, and it wouldn't really make sense to have not gotten a sequel set for so long. I guess we did get like that Christmassy kind of diorama promo, but I also don't think that sold incredibly well, so I don't think LEGO would make the May 4th promo something related to the sequels. However, I could be proven wrong, but I highly doubt it. I just figured that I would bring it up for the sake of this video. Now, another diorama-like set that the fans have highly wanted from LEGO, especially in coinciding with the anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, is going to be the iconic scene of Anakin versus Obi-Wan on Mustafar. Such an iconic scene, probably the most iconic scene out of all of Revenge of the Sith, if I'm being honest, and everyone wanted a diorama version of this for the anniversary. However, dioramas on their way out, and we aren't actually getting any this year, leaving us kind of in the dust. However, I do think that this is another opportunity for LEGO to make this the promo, kind of the same as the Palpatine's Arrest that we didn't get and could get in a promo form, but I think this might be even more likely. Now, a lot of people said that this is impossible because, 3 minifigures. However, LEGO is not a stranger to including some sort of droid as a minifigure, so you could be getting those little Mustafar droids that Anakin and Obi-Wan stay on top of and stand on top of during their fight, and LEGO could have counted it as a minifigure, making the 3 minifigures Obi-Wan, Anakin, and a Mustafar droid, which would satisfy that 3 minifigures that's coinciding with the leak. leak, and then you could get the small build of the hill, and maybe even like a cool little mechanism where you could have Anakin do a little flip and get his legs chopped off. I do think this is such an iconic scene, and I would love for LEGO to have made it. Making this video really just makes me think of all of the missed opportunities without dioramas this year, so it is kind of sad, but I do think that this is a very likely outcome for the May 4th promo, being one of the most iconic scenes from Revenge of the Sith. I feel like this is up there in the most likely of all of the different ones that we're talking about today, and I would love to see this one come to fruition. Now, the last kind of rumor that I want to talk about is going to be the Darth Vader's transformation. Now, this was another one kind of going around. However, I'm not sure if I really think that this is going to be likely, as the Darth Vader's transformation takes place at the very, very end of the movie. And I feel like the May 4th promo, if it is going to be based off of Revenge of the Sith, is going to be based on one of those high point moments that we talked about earlier, like Palpatine's arrest or the Anakin versus Obi-Wan duel. However, this one does still make sense. You would get your Palpatine minifigure, a Darth Vader, and then a crispy Anakin. Now, this is a set that we got before, and I really do like that set, and I think that we are overdue for a remake. However, I feel like this would definitely warrant its own set over a little bit of a gift with purchase. However, I do think that it could be very, very cool. However, this does kind of raise another question, being that it is coming in at 3 minifigures, and when looking at the previous version of the Darth Vader's transformation that we got, the droids, the medical droids, counted as minifigures. So this would put us over the 3 minifigure leak that we have going around right now, meaning, you know, maybe we wouldn't get a Palpatine, or maybe you have to get both versions of Anakin for it to be a transformation, and I feel like Palpatine has to be there in the set, leaving you with no medical droids to perform the actual operation. So I think that one just leaves this one out in the water as one that isn't going to happen. Not to say that it can't happen as a set, and I would love for that to happen, but I don't think that it is going to happen, just because the minifigures don't add up, and also to build this, I feel like 190 pieces is a little bit low. Therefore, I don't think this is going to be the one that we're going to be getting. Now, I know I just gave a ton of different options that we could be getting for the gift with purchase at the $160 mark, but that is because that is the one that we don't actually know of yet. I feel like the Polybag and the Charm are more easy to call than this one, but out of all of the different things that I said could happen, I'm going to tell you the ones that I think are most likely. In the number 1 spot, I think the most likely one is going to be that Obi-Wan versus Anakin. Maybe it's just bias that I really want to see that scene adapted into some sort of diorama or a little display piece, but I feel like that one makes the most sense. It's the anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. That's the climax of the movie, the biggest part that I took away from the movie, so I'm assuming that's the same for a lot of people, and I feel like it's the most iconic part of the movie. So I feel like if LEGO was to make the May 4th promo based on Revenge of the Sith, this is the no-brainer option, especially because we're not getting any other Duel on Mustafar sets for this year. I feel like that is the number 1 golden option. Now, the backup to that is going to be Palpatine's arrest with Anakin, Palpatine, and Mace Windu. I feel like that is the second place one. However, I feel like it is a lot more unlikely than Anakin versus Obi-Wan, just because it is still an iconic part of the movie, and it also is a pretty iconic part of LEGO Star Wars. I feel like Palpatine's arrest is one of the most known LEGO sets. I feel like a lot of people talk about it. It's the grail for a lot of people, so I feel like it's one that LEGO would be open to doing. However, I don't think it's as likely as the latter. And in third place, as much as I hate to say it, but I do honestly think that the Kylo Ren, the Rey, and the Finn is more likely than the Jango Fett's apartment, but I could be wrong. It's not to say that they're not going to make the Jango Fett's apartment actually the May 4th promo, but to get so many sets revolving around Jango on the anniversary of Revenge of the Sith and on the anniversary of the sequel movies, it just wouldn't really make sense to make that all about Jango. It's not the anniversary of Jango Fett, it's the anniversary of Revenge of the Sith and the first of the sequel movies, so it wouldn't really make sense that he would be the one focused in the May 4th promo. However, not to say LEGO won't do that. You know, LEGO has a history of ignoring different milestones in regarding to the movies and the shows, so they could honestly just cast it aside and we could be getting some random promo. It could be like, I don't know, something that I didn't even talk about today. It could be related to the random thing. It could be a Rebuild the Galaxy promo for all we know. However, I don't think that's going to happen. I hope that's not going to happen. I would be a little bit upset, to be honest. But then, yeah, I do think that something related to the sequels is more likely than a set related to Jango Fett. But I would still like to see that. Not to say that it's not a very cool promo idea. I think Jango Fett's apartment would be very, very cool, especially if it's built kind of like Lars Homestead. I think that could be really sick. I just don't think that's something that's going to happen. And I really hope that we get the Anakin versus Obi-Wan, because it's such an iconic scene. seen, and I think it would make for a great promo. But let me know down below in the comment section of this video what you think the promo is going to be and which one you're most excited to see, and what you would want LEGO to make this May 4th promo, and also your thoughts on the polybag as well as the charm. I am very excited to see what the charm is going to be. I feel like the charms get a lot of hate from LEGO and are a lot of hate from the fans, and I guess I'm also kind of part of that. I do kind of hate on the charms, but that's just because I feel like the charms have been kind of lackluster. I feel like it's a very cool idea. I just think that LEGO isn't really executing on it properly, and I am very excited to see all of these different promos, and I cannot wait for May 1st when we are finally able to get all of these promos. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe. Drew signing out.